We're talking Meyers football here on the John Mendola Show at our Carol and Janelle's Takeaway Kitchen. Jeff Labatch, the head football coach, joining us right now. And Jeff, let's first talk about some of the players you lost from last year to this year and how you try to replace some of those guys.
Yeah, Willie Wallace is one of the main guys. He was our quarterback at the beginning of the year, and then he had an injury, and then we moved him to receiver and made some nice plays, and then we actually used him at defensive back, where I believe he was first team by the NPF FS. So he's going to be a big one we need to replace. Maffei Shivers in the middle, a lot of sacks, a lot of tackles, probably our leading tackler last year. So that middle linebacker, we're going to need a replacement in there. Kabir Williams, a track guy, speedy, makes real big plays for us. So replacing those guys are keys for us. Line-wise, we lost Lucas Borum at center. That's we're going to have to replace him. And Preston Perkins and Josh Burrow. So line up front, we only have 2 guys returning up front, so we're looking for 3 spots to fill from the younger guys.
One of the things the coach always worries about is the leadership role as it transfers over from last year to now 2017. Let's talk about the leadership. Do you have some seniors coming in with some strong personalities or strong work ethic, or are there some sophomores and juniors that maybe carry that and carry themselves a little bit higher, I guess?
The younger guys have really stepped up. But we have Janssen Willborn, who's going to be a senior, and some other senior guys. But some of the younger guys, Michael Horvath is a 3-year player, and Reese Patronik, they're 3-year players who moved them up as freshmen. So even being juniors, they've been taking the leadership roles. Kevin Soy and Ryan Maffei have also been stepping up and taking lead in their particular position groups.
Other coaches you run into where you see like, hey, Meyers has a lot back, that kind of talk. Of course, everybody, when you're that coach, you're hearing that, you're thinking, well, we still got so much to do and so much work to put in. Let's first talk about some of those skill guys that you do have, that there's expectations there, but you still need guys to block up front. So there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle in this football team.
Absolutely. We have guys with experience, and he said Janssen Willborn's experience at quarterback, so that's good. He's got 1 year under his belt there. But replacing the other guys running back, we have guys that had carries, but not necessarily the guys that were the main carriers last year. And up front, he said we have 3 guys we got to replace. So some of the younger guys have been stepping in. A couple of the seniors that we're looking, that are going to be seniors, didn't get much playing time in the past, are going to really need to step up, and we're looking forward, like Eli Mitchell and Jason Castellano, who were in reserve roles last year, that are really going to have to step up and play key parts this year.
Any other guys competing on that offense or defensive line that you think, boy, they've really had a nice off season in the weight room, or really at least showing some promise that they're dedicated and saying, hey, I want to be there. I want to be on getting more reps.
Yeah, one of them that comes to mind is Kevin Caskey. He's looking good. Justin Eberhardt was a first-year player last year, going to be a junior, big kid. Hoping he could step in and play tackle for us. Derek Yaskowitz is another younger guy, going to be a sophomore that should be able to step in. Joshua Woodworth. A lot of the freshman guys have a chance to start.
As far as the running back position this year, is it one guy you think that could dominate the carries, or is there a couple of people in the mix to say who knows what could happen?
I think we'll be using a couple of guys. Nazir Donnell got a couple carries later on in the season last year and has speed. I think he was bronze in the 110 hurdles, so he's obviously got some speed. So he'll get some carries. Kevin DeSoy will get carries. Rajon Woodson is another big bruising back. He got a couple carries last year. Those are probably the 3 main guys that'll be getting from the backfield. But we also have Reese Patronik, who we're using all over the place right now. He's a good receiver too, so he could be using the backfield or out wide.
Defensively, let's talk about some guys that you see, could be a guy, a ball hawk, a guy who gets to where the ball is, or some guys that have shown some physical promise.
Ryan Judge is one I think he was out of position last year where we worked him in. He's been playing in the defensive backfield now and doing nice things in the summer. Nais Hood, another track guy, tall, athletic. He's going to play in a corner right now. And obviously we have Janssen in the secondary. Reese Patronik and Kevin DeSoy, linebacker. And we're thinking about moving up Blake Robinson, possibly filling one of the linebacker spots. He's been looking good in the summer so far, so we're looking for some good things from him.
7-on-7, something that returned this year. And I'm sure some area coaches, you get difference of opinion. Hey, I really like them. Hey, they're a little overrated. For you, you get a little evaluation on your guys, but the important thing, I think, is you get some reps. You get to see your guys. It's a commitment. So talk a little bit about your take on getting some of that experience with the kids?
Well, Jimmy Anderson ran the 7-on-7s this year at Wyoming 7. We thank him for putting the time in and organizing that. But we had about eight or nine teams that came on different weeks, and we got good experience. Our kids like to go against different guys. Instead of going against the same kids day in and day out, they look forward to competing against the other local teams, whoever it is, just to get a different look. And we get to evaluate them on a different level. It's just not practice, and it's not the same thing over and over again. A little more competitive when you go against somebody else.
Coach, practices this year, season's a little early. I think it's August 25th is the first game. Yeah. Heat acclimation week. Talk about trying to make sure guys are in shape and ready like all the other coaches. You get your guys in workouts and make sure everybody stays healthy and leads up to a good season.
Yeah, we've got a good off season, so we put in 3 days, at least 3 days a week, and a couple days in the weight room. So the kids are trying to get them in shape, getting them ready for camp. And once the heat week hits, some days are 2 days, and then you're right in. We'll be scrimmaging before you know it. We try to prepare them as much as possible, even with nutrition and making sure with the hot summer that they hydrate, especially.
Well, Coach, great to see you here, and we wish you the best the rest of the off season as summer workouts continue, and good luck in 2017.
Thanks very much, John.
Ryan Maffei joins us here on the John Mendola Show at our Carol and Janelle's Takeaway Kitchen. And Ryan, let's talk first about you heading into your junior year. What kind of excitement do you have here for the 2017 season?
I'm excited. I mean, our team's young, but I think we're going to have a great season. A lot of kids have been working hard in the weight room. Jose Rivera couldn't really catch any balls last year, benched 135 pounds. Now he's benching 250. He's up with the lineman. So we have a lot of kids that are putting in some good work. I'm excited.
For you, off season, talk about some things that you honed in on. Said, okay, I got to get better with this or that, or coach maybe called you and said, hey, I really like your work on your feet or your strength.
I started working out with a personal trainer at the Odyssey. His name's Mark Buss. That really helped me a lot. And big key is as being a lineman is just working with your footwork. I think that's key. I mean, the strength comes, but footwork is really what's going to set you up for success. So that's my key.
Seeing a little bit of some 7-on-7 with you guys. You see you do have some skill guys, but games are going to be won up front, offense and defensive lines. Let's talk about some of the guys, and Coach mentioned there's a lot of holes on that offensive line. First of all, talk about some guys that you think should be able to fill in this year, along with the guys you have coming back.
Yeah, I mean, we only have 2 starting returners for 2017 season, but Jason Castellano, Pedro Hernandez, Justin Eberhardt, those are kids that are expected to step up this season. Myself, I think we're going to be pretty good up front this year. And the D-line, I mean, it's up for grabs. You don't really know who's playing there this year. We have a lot of kids. Kevin Caskey's young. He's very good. We got a couple kids.
Talk a little bit about the tight end position, Michael Horvath. Sometimes he'll be called upon to block or catch.
Michael Horvath's very talented. I mean, one of the best blockers in the league, I think. I mean, he drops a couple balls, but he's definitely reliable. I think he's a very good player, one of my best friends.
As far as the dedication in the weight room, what have you seen for the Mohawks? You always probably think, hey, I wish we had a few more guys going, but talk about what you did see.
I saw a lot of improvements, a lot of kids getting stronger. I mean, there was a little span where we didn't have as many kids as coach would like in the weight room, and he was a little unhappy, but I think we're starting to pull together. I think a lot of kids are getting very strong, and I think we're going to have a good season this year.
How about some things you've noticed in some of the preseason workouts, whether it's a quarterback or some receivers, different guys? Anybody, I know you gave us one example as far as the weight room, but any other guys that you feel pretty strongly about?
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Tyler Yellen, wide receiver. He's really stepping up this year. He has great hands, and obviously when you have a quarterback like Janssen coming back, I mean, that's really going to set you up. He's a great player.
Overall, defensively, talk about what you like about the defensive side of the ball, and who do you see flying around there? I know you have some linebackers that are coming back this year.
Yeah.
Increased roles for them.
I think our team's very good at tackling. I think we play physical. We just got to stay smart and don't let penalties get to us. And I think we'll be very good this year.
Discipline's such a big part. You have to carry that over academically and athletically. Talk about some things you try to discipline yourself with to become a better overall student athlete.
Yeah. I mean, I have a short temper, but I just like to keep it cool and let the football talk. I don't really like to talk that much. But I know a couple kids that let that get to them, and we can't have that this year.
Well, some young guys like yourself going to have to step up as leaders for the Meyers Mohawks.
Definitely.
We wish you well this season. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eli Mitchell joins us from the Meyers Mohawks football team. And Eli, let's talk about your off season for you. What did you improve on?
I improved on my strength. I feel like I need to really improve on my legs more because because I've kind of been slacking with him, and I recently, like a couple months ago, broke my left foot, so I have to get back into squatting and stuff.
Confidence-wise, that's an issue. Anybody has an injury, an ankle, a leg, an arm, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Talk about it wavers your confidence a little bit. Are you feeling a little more comfortable as time's gone on here?
Yeah, I feel a little bit better. Like weight's easier to lift, and I just keep on improving with weight. So I lift for bench I lift 265, and then for squat I'm like around 295.
So the work ethic is there. How about some guys around you? Talk about some guys you see dedicated in that weight room.
I see Jason Castellano. He's dedicated in the weight room 24/7. I think he has the highest squat, 435, 440. Pedro Hernandez, he's dedicated. Ryan Maffei, he's dedicated. I see Michael Horvath down there. I see Reese Patronik down there all the time. Yeah, I see Kevin DeSoy. I see Janssen Willborn. They're all just working out there, and they're doing this stuff. You know what I mean?
That's what you like to hear, guys dedicated in the weight room.
Yeah.
As far as you hitting the field, you think you have a little better chance on the offense or defensive side of the ball this year?
I think I have a better chance of defense, because I really don't know how to guard on offense. I'm better with hitting, and I just can't wait till I put on the pads and start hitting.
Talk about playing the defensive tackle position, and you have some quickness to you, some strength. Do you read the offense well? What makes you a pretty good defender?
Well, my strength just makes me it kind of makes me a better defender, because other people that don't get into the weight room that much and do that, it's really a downfall for them. They need to get up into the weight room and get stronger.
How about some early season workouts here in the summer and the 7-on-7s? What have you seen from your team that you're saying, hey, we really look strong in this area?
Janssen Willborn with his throws, and I'd say Tyler Gellin, TY. I'd say his wide receiver skills are on point this year. I mean, I recorded film for them, so I think they did pretty good.
You guys have some other guys that play other sports, track guys that are coming over.
Yeah.
Janelle, Nice Hood, you got guys like that.
Yeah.
You throw in a Gabe Springer, who's really a basketball guy who'll play a little bit of football for you. You bring in a soccer kid and Clement, a Stu, a nice sized kid. You're hoping some of these guys could contribute and play a little bigger role.
Oh yeah, definitely. They definitely would be able to play a bigger role in this. Just learning about football would be good for them. Maybe not starting this year, but definitely next year they definitely can do something for the team.
Well, Eli, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for your time here at our Carolyn Janelle.
Thank you for having me.
Janssen Willborn joins us from the Meyers Mohawks football team. And Janssen, you're a big part of the team last year due to some unfortunate injuries, but you kind of happened to shine there on your team. Talk about going through some of the pressure last year, kind of being put into the fire a little bit, but you responded pretty well to it.
Last year I didn't feel much pressure after being put in at the quarterback spot after Willie Wallace got hurt. I've been playing quarterback for most of my life, so it was just like a next man up kind of thing. I had to step up when my team needed me, and I just did what we had to do.
Talk about how you carry yourself, whether it's in the school or on the field. What your family says, hey, this is how we would like for you to be, and of course you got to be your own person and follow through with it.
Well, I like to be a guy who leads more by example. I'm not much of a vocal leader. I would say the vocal leader on our team would be Michael Horvath. He's always loud, yelling at someone. He has a big voice. I like to just lead by example and show people how to do things, and hopefully they get it done the right way.
And talk about some of those things you are able to do athletically, some talents that you have. Of course, there's some things that you work on too, but whether it's your arm or your leg, take us through some of those body parts of yours that work for you.
Well, I like to get it done both ways. I am more of a running quarterback, but this offseason I worked a lot on getting my arm where it needed to be. I worked a lot on footwork just so I could stay in the pocket and make some of those other throws that I wasn't able to last year. But I also still have that same running ability that I had last year that catered to a lot of our team's success.
How about speed-wise? You consider yourself fast, quick? Some guys are both. Where do you see yourself?
I consider myself more fast than quick. I'm not very good at stopping and starting motions or just short motions, but like over the course I pick up a lot of speed, and that's where most of my speed comes from.
Or being you, looking at some of these guys in the off season, seeing them catch the ball or run their routes, or thinking, boy, you have a lot of weapons. But well, let's first talk about that before we get to some of the guys that block up front. But talk about some of the targets that you're going to have. I'm sure you feel pretty confident about them.
This year's pretty exciting because like we have a lot of targets to throw to. We have people like Michael Horvath, Reese Patronik, Tyler Yellen. We have a very good jumper coming from track, Meyers Mohawks, Nazir Donnell, who just had a great season in hurdles. And coming out of the backfield, we have Kevin DeSoy.
So there's plenty of guys there, but of course that big question up front, how do you see the work ethic of these guys? The other guys said they're coming around a little bit. A couple starters back, but a few guys kind of dedicating themselves.
Yeah, we have only a few linemen coming back, but from what I've been seeing, they're working really hard to get where they need to be. The protection doesn't look like it's going to be awful this year. It looks like we're going to have a good protection up front, and I don't think we have much to worry about.
Overall, the work out in the weight room, talk about your dedication and what you saw from your teammates.
The workouts in the weight room have been good. Like, we've been getting a really good team attendance. Like, there's certain days where we get 40, 50 kids in the weight room, and we have a good core of kids that are always coming in there. Kids that are always in there, like Corey Brown, Ryan Judge.
Guys like that are hopefully going to step up and have bigger roles this year. As far as defensively, you see yourself playing, even though you're going to be quarterback. Coach, going to probably put you on the field as well?
Yeah, I'm hoping to play a lot of safety this year, and that's pretty much it.
As far as getting to those summer workouts and making sure guys show up for 7-on-7s, how do you keep after guys, again, by being a guy by example, just making sure that the guys are going to show up and do what they're supposed to do?
Well, we have a pretty close-knit team, so like a lot of us hang out outside of football. We're not just friends when it comes to the field, so we're seeing these guys outside of football, we're hanging out with them, so like when people aren't showing up, you just gotta be that person that's like, hey, like where were you at? Like we had practice the other day, you weren't there, we had 7-on-7s coming up, like you guys need to get there.
How about the future endeavors for you? It's coming into your season 2017-18. Have you given much thought as to what's up next for you?
I've given a little bit of thought on what I'm going to do after this season, but right now I'm just trying to focus on the 2017-2018 season to get some wins for my team.
All right, Janssen, well, great to see you. We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Reese Patronik joining us from the Meyers Mohawks football team. And Reese, you seem like a dedicated athlete. You're a three-sport athlete at Meyers. I'm sure every coach wants a little bit of your time, but Coach Labatch is fortunate to get some of your time. You look like you've gotten some things down there with football. Talk a little bit about what you love about the game of football.
What I love about the game is football is the contact, of course. I love the team. The team just gets together, plays as a team. It's a great time in general. Great time.
You have a good core group of you guys that are pretty close-knit. So talk a little bit about some of the relationships, in particular with maybe some of these guys that come from the junior class.
We have a good group of kids coming up. We have a lot of freshmen stepping up. Hopefully they've been in the weight room. They've been doing their thing out there.
Receiver-wise, talk about some of the weapons that you see coming into the mix this year. You happen to be one of them, but we don't know where you're going to line up yet. But there's a handful of guys that can catch the ball and maybe have some wheels with it too.
Corey Brown, big weapon. He's underestimated. He's pretty small. He's quick. Hands are great. Ryan Judge will be stepping up. He's a good weapon also. Nice Hood. Big target, good hands, quick. He'll get the job done.
You seem like you're a good route runner. You got good hands. You got some speed. You kind of have the package there as a receiver. What are some things that you worked on to kind of get to the level you're at now?
Off season, I worked a lot of agility, speed, strength. I worked with Coach Shielwitz. Put a lot of hard work in. Hopefully, it'll do me some good for the season.
As far as playing the other sports, you're a wrestler, so your weight kind of, I'm sure sometimes you're thinking, I got to be in check a little bit, but you have some nice muscle to you. Talk a little bit about things you do to kind of keep yourself healthy and work in that weight room.
Well, I took a year off of wrestling just to get my body right. I gained 40 pounds, a lot of pounds. Hopefully I plan to get back out on the mat soon.
Of course, you're dedicated to track and field. You did a pretty good job there. Talk about how that complemented a little bit of your other sports.
Track and field's good. It's good for your body. Good conditioning. I pole vaulted. I do jab. I ran the 200 once in a while when Coach needed me to. And
What's it like to be playing with Janssen Willborn? Talk a little bit about his talents and what he brings to your team.
he's a great athlete. He knows what to do in shady situations. He gets the job done. His arm improved a lot in the past year. It's not only the run game now. You got to worry about deep threat. Our receivers are really good targets.
I'm sure all of you feel a little bit of the pressure, but it seems like maybe there's a little more pressure on that offensive line this year, knowing that there's some guys with some talent catching or running. But talk about what you see from the linemen. Maybe you see them in the weight room or maybe some early summer workouts so far.
Our linemen are getting together as a team. Kevin Caskey coming up from freshman, is doing very well in the weight room, on and off the field. He's a good kid. And we have Justin, big body, Justin Willborn, big body. Ryan Maffei, he's been on the field. He's been doing his thing also. We just, on and off the field, hard work.
And over at defense, you're going to be one of the linebackers. Talk about some of the other linebackers around you, hopefully making some tackles this year for the Mohawks.
We have Kevin DeSoy on the other side of the field, quick, got a lot faster since last year, a lot stronger. Middle linebacker, we have Rajon Woodson. He's a good hitter. We just need to work on getting to practice and getting ready for August 26th.
Reese, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks so much for coming into our Carol and Janelle.